Works every time. You go to commercial, there's a trade. Back over to the newsbreakers. Elliot, John, and Chris.
Don't everybody take it at once. Jason Chimera has been traded from the New York Islanders to the Anaheim Ducks for Chris Wagner.
And Evander Kane is going to San Jose. That's going to be the other one here, still waiting on a return.
Interesting, because Joel Ward was asked for his 6 teams that he could not be traded to over the last day. So there might be something there with Joel Ward. But Evander Kane goes to San Jose. Sort of waited for San Jose to get into this thing.
All year.
Yeah.
All year. No replacement for Patrick Marleau and no replacement for Joe Thornton when he went down. The only thing we heard of was Eric Fair coming in, and certainly couldn't fill those type of shoes. But at least Peter DeBoer gets some help trying to put the puck in the net. And Evander Kane, we know how talented he is. We know the troubles that have followed him, unfortunately, off the ice that kind of trickled into his reputation. Has he been on his best behavior? Yeah, he's been pretty good lately in Buffalo, and maybe a lot of those things are behind him. But there's no question this time of year, those teams still ask those questions, whether or not he can come in here, be positive, and not disrupt their hockey club.
Getting into altercations with your teammates can happen in a practice in certain situations. We've all been on teams where teammates have, had it out during a practice, and then they send each other roses, or they don't. We send them to make it funny. But at the end of the day, this guy has had multiple issues with his teammates, whether it be in Winnipeg or in Buffalo. So those things set up a lot of red flags. But you can't negate the fact that if you can get him in the right environment, around the right people and the right leadership people on your team, this is a guy who's big and strong, has got great skill sets. He loves to get in hard on the forecheck. Could be a nice fit there.
He's a 2020 guy in his sleep.
Yep. He fits great in the Western Conference. This is, in this division especially, he's going to fit perfectly in San Jose, who's looked for scoring all year long, as you mentioned, with Marleau gone, with Thornton being out with a long-term injury. They've had to really shuffle the deck and shuffle lines to try and find consistency in guys that can play. Maybe a little bit too much put on Joe Pavelski this year, a guy that just logging those minutes is tough for him. Evander Kane's going to come in here. He has speed, he has size, he plays a nasty game. This is what the West is going to, it looks like, down the stretch. If you see the acquisitions that have been made here, I think he'll fit perfectly there. And a guy that, like you said, can score a lot of goals for this team.
And give Peter DeBoer full credit here. I mean, holding this team into a playoff position, closing in on 100 points without replacing Marleau, with Joe Thornton going down. I mean, I know he won't win Coach of the Year. We've got that to Gerard.
Care of.
Gerard, go get your trophy right now. It's done. But he should be in those conversations. That's how good of a job he's done. And let's hope he can do a good job when Kane arrives.
Just flip it back over to Elliot for the particulars of the Evander Kane deal.
Okay, so this is what it's going to be. It's a first-round draft pick with conditions on it, I understand. I don't know what the conditions are, but it's a first-round draft pick with conditions, a conditional fourth, and a prospect. So I don't have all the particulars, but that's the rough outline of San Jose's deal with Buffalo.
And on the heels of the Ryan Hartman trade, the Paul Stastny trade, I don't think it's any surprise that another first-rounders
might not be a
haven't
first
gone.
rounder, though. Might not even
conditional,
be.
yeah.
When we talked about Evander Kane being first available from Buffalo, they were talking about significant 4 pieces. And I think this shows, with the time, 45 minutes until this thing shuts down, how the bottom might be dropping out just a little bit.
On the top end.
That's right.
We're finding that underlining bunch of guys that are sitting just underneath it, like a Stastny that's going, and maybe Anaheim and other teams have got to move pieces out before they can get a big piece to come in. So maybe that's still going on. We'll find that out as we move along here. But at the end of the day, I think that the reason why the bigger ones aren't going, because it's that first-round pick and it's that high-end prospect and it's another player, and that really makes teams that are in the hunt nervous. They don't want to give up that player off their roster and the first-round pick and a prospect. So the prices are high, and I think these players, like Nick just said, the prices are dropping on some guys, and they're going to, I think, continue to drop as we get closer to 3 o'clock, because now the game of chicken is getting right into the last few feet.
Like, get something or get nothing. That's where teams are at.
And there are owners that have gone to their GMs and saying, get something.
It's been 10 years since there was multiple first-round picks traded on deadline day, and with a conditional first-rounder and a conditional fourth with the San Jose Sharks and the Buffalo Sabres, that's 3 of them so far this afternoon.